Hey, hey, you caught me adjusting something. All right, all right, y'all. Good day, Wayne. Good day. I hope you're doing well. Yes, yes, yes. Good morning. Okay, 2 hour morning intensive. Okay, Wayne, you're getting it in. You're getting it in. I love it. I love it. So I'm taking a deep breath. You want to take a deep breath with me this morning? Let's do that. Let's just take a deep breath in and let's let it out. As we just settle into this glorious day, this beautiful Thursday here on location in wonderful la. Hey, Vanessa. Hey, Tim. Hey, Margaretta. It's good to see you all. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, good day, Stacy. I hope everyone's doing well. Welcome to Morning Sip with Rev Melissa, and I am Rev Melissa. And SIP is an acronym for Spirit and Practice, where we are all about the practice. And what are we practicing? We are practicing the presence that resides within us, practicing being in alignment with that which we are. Yes? And what we are using this week to do that is the Lord's Prayer is the Lord's Prayer. So we left off yesterday with forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors, right? And basically, that was all about forgiveness, right? Because the failure to forgive ourselves and others creates pockets of negativity, and pockets of negativity clogs flow. And Lord knows we don't want our flow to be clogged. So we want to keep the flow of good going, right? And we do that by forgiveness. Forgiving quickly and forgiving constantly is necessary. And if we're unable to forgive, if we are in a space of unforgiveness, that cultivates stagnation, resentment. And we said yesterday that resentment is a form of attachment. So we want to let that go. Want to let go of resentment. So today we are going into the next stanza in the Lord's Prayer, which is, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Deliver us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. And so let's break that down a little bit, right? So temptation really symbolizes the material world, right? Being attached to the material world, seeking ye first the material world instead of seeking ye first that which is our indwelling spirit, seeking first that which is the kingdom. Yes? And so in the Aramaic language, temptation means unripeness, right? And we know when something is not ripe, it ain't right, right? You ever ate a piece of fruit and it wasn't right? It's like, ew, that ain't good, right? So temptation is like that. It's like, something ain't right with that. Let me put this down and go and do something else that I need to do, right? Which is to make that connection, right? Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. And so when we think about evil, I know when I grew up in the Pentecostal faith, the idea of evil was always associated with the devil or Satan, right? Satan, and we hear people say that all the time, right? The devil made me do it, right? And so what we know in consciousness, what we know when we think about wholeness and oneness is that there is only one power, there's only one presence, and that presence and that power is God, the divine, the creator, our Father, which art in heaven as it is in earth. As our Father, which art in heaven as it is in earth. You'll know what I'm saying, right? So that is the power, right? Not evil. Evil has no power. Evil is the misuse of power. And we see that played out over and over and over and over again in the physical realm, don't we? We're witnessing that right now as the George Floyd trial goes on, right? Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. And so, a form of evil is racism. Evil, a form of evil is racism. And evil is all about separation. It's all about separation and believing, having a belief that there is a power other than the power that is God, that there is a presence other than the presence that is God. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from separation, is another way that we can say that, right? It also brings to mind when I did the series at the beginning of the year, the Prayer of Jabez series, because the Prayer of Jabez also talks about evil, right? The Prayer of Jabez, he talks about basically, may I cause no pain, right? And let me not be in evil, right? The same concept. Let me be in the oneness that God is. Yes? All right, I want to read something to you. And this is a unity perspective about the Lord's Prayer, and specifically about this stanza in the prayer. So I talked about the prayer of Jabez. Oh, here's the line specifically. I was trying to remember, I couldn't remember word from word. And that you would keep me from hurt and harm, is what he said, that I may not cause harm. And all of that happens in our consciousness, right? So the idea of temptation is when ideas and thoughts arise from this sense of consciousness that there is something better, that there is something better. Can you imagine something better than God? Something better than oneness? Temptation will have you think that there is, right? Temptation will have you think in consciousness and in your action and in your deeds that the material world has the power, that the material world is going to keep you safe, that the material world is going to give you the desires of your heart. But we know that is not the truth. We know that is not the truth. So the evil, right, or the error in thinking is really important to keep into mind, right? Because we know how powerful our thoughts are. Our thoughts are creative, right? And so if we have an error in thinking, it's easy to be tempted, isn't it? It's easy to be mm, tempted into the material, into the illusion, and to step away from the reality with a capital R. Yes? Okay. So I'm going to share with you some words from Unity's perspective about this stanza. The evil or terror is in my thoughts and my potential actions, not in some outside entity I need to be rescued from. I am really affirming the power of spirit to guide me and protect me from my own error thinking. We find our way into error and temptation all on our own. In prayer, we are instead affirming a power to guide us in the way of the truth, empowering us to let go of the error thoughts and actions. They said we find our way into error and temptation all on our own, which means we have free will, which means that we are making the choice if we are going to choose separation or oneness. Are you going to be tempted into separation, or are you going to stand in the oneness, in the real reality with a capital R? That is the invitation that is being offered in this prayer, to affirm that there is a power greater than we are that can guide us and lead us in the ways of truth with a capital T. And that empowers us to make right, divine, good choices for ourselves and to be guided in that way, right? Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Yes? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So as I was doing research into the Lord's Prayer, I came upon the Aramaic translation of the Lord's Prayer. I'm going to share the whole thing tomorrow when we wrap up. But for today, I just wanted to share the translation of this stanza. In Aramaic, the translation is this: Let us not be lost in superficial things, materialism, common temptations, but let us be freed from that what keeps us off from our true purpose. Let us be free from anything that keeps us off of our true purpose. That is the temptation. Those things that that guide us away from our true purpose is the temptation. Everything related to that guides us away is an illusion. Some of us are following an illusion that the world is presenting to us as the truth. But when we know the truth, when we know that there is an error in our thinking, right? We're not evil. We're not evil. God didn't make evil. So we're not evil. But there's an error, right? And sometimes the error gets repeated over and over and over again and expands in consciousness, right? That will have us go wayward, right? Will have us go wayward, and we have to find ourselves again, right? We have to find ourselves again, get back into the alignment, clear the clog that is probably stopped up with materialism, with greed, with mm, all kinds of stuff that we really don't need. And that's one of the blessings of this whole pandemic for me, also. It really demonstrated to me all that I don't need. All that I don't need. There's just some basic things that I need. And I have to say, this year, 2020 into 2021 and moving forward has probably been the happiest that I've been in my life for a really, really long time, because everything that was unnecessary for me moved away, faded away, and only that which is mm, in alignment with my purpose remains, remains. So sometimes we have to say goodbye, right? Sometimes we have to say goodbye to those things that don't serve our purpose and come into alignment. And that might mean things getting stripped away, not not in a aggressive, violent type of way, but just to let it go, to open up and allow ourselves to release it, to be in that place of non-attachment that we talked about yesterday, right? You want to be in your purpose? Look to see what you are attached to. Check out your temptations, right? And our temptations can be very subtle, can be very subtle. It could be the temptation to gossip, the temptation to lie, the temptation. One of my temptations is staying up late and not getting enough rest. I'm highly tempted by that, right? And I'm making that choice. I have the free will. I have the free will, right? So we have an invitation through the Lord's Prayer to come into alignment with the oneness, to to align our thinking with the kingdom, and to seek that kingdom first. To seek that kingdom first. So that's what we're doing, y'all. That is what we're doing. Yes, Lindsay, showing all I don't need. Yes, yes, many of us can relate to that. Show my gifts from inside out. Yes, yes, yes. And we know this, the Lord's Prayer gives us everything, right? The showing our gifts from within out is what we talked about the other day, right? As above, so below, as within, so without. Yes, as in heaven, as in earth. Yes. So the Lord's Prayer is our recipe. It's our formula for living life on purpose, for living life through the kingdom that is God, that dwells within us, that leads us not into temptation, not into error thinking, but in our purpose, deeper and deeper and deeper, rooted there, rooted in our purpose. Oh, yes, and that is some good news, y'all. That is some good news. So, before I wrap up, Nan asked a question yesterday about forgiveness. And in essence, she was asking, can you forgive someone who you no longer see, someone from the past? And do you have to let them know that you're forgiving them, right? So, one, yes, you can forgive anyone in any realm. So the person might have even passed on into the spiritual realm, and you might still be harboring bad feelings or whatever it is against them, resentments, whatever it might be. You can still go into forgiveness. You can still forgive them and forgive yourself. You can release yourself from the judgment, right? Because you don't want to be tethered to that negative energy. You don't want to clog your flow of goodness. Yes? And the second question that she asked was, do you have to let the person know? No. You don't have to let the person know, but energetically, they will receive it. They will receive it. And that's the power of prayer. That is the power of prayer because it's not us that's doing the work, right? It is God that is doing the work within us, as us. And so our Father means that we're all related, we're all brothers and sisters, and so we're all connected. So you release someone forgiveness, they will feel the vibration of that. Energetically, they will feel it. So I hope that answers that question, Nan. I'm not sure if you're on right now. You hear your question being answered in the replay. Okay? All right, y'all. So, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. I hope that I have delivered another perspective about temptation and about evil that you can use. You can apply that in your life, right? It's not evil, it's error thinking, it's separation. Yes? And the temptation, you take onus on what it is that you do and what it is that you do not do. Nothing and no one can tempt you to do anything, right? Because we are responsible, able to respond to our life. The bigness of it, the smallness of it, the the mundane of it, the mundane of it, we can apply and be in agreement with our purpose in every level of our lives. Yes? Because why? Why can we do that? Because it's all one thing. It's one life, one mind, one love, and we get to use it all. Get to use it all. So let's use it rightly. Let's use it divinely. Let's use it as love. All right, y'all. So tomorrow we're going to wrap it up with for thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. And then I will share a couple of different translations of the Lord's Prayer that I found during these last 2 weeks delivering morning sip for the Lord's Prayer. Okay? All right, y'all. So I am Rev Melissa. I am an interfaith ordained minister and I am a licensed religious science practitioner. It is my joy to be a purpose coach, working with people one on one to support them in living life in joy, connected to their yes. And if you need support, if you need to take that next step in your purpose, you can send me a DM and we can set up some time to talk. So we're living life in joy, connected to our yes. And now it's time for some joy news. It's time for some joy news. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So, not a lot of news today. I just want to remind everybody to check out the special Living Life and Joy show on Sunday. It's our Easter special. So, please join in 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time for the Living Life and Joy show. Please support my podcast, Sit with Rev Melissa, and you can check that out on different podcast platforms like Apple and Spotify. Even Alexa will will get you to the podcast. So please subscribe. It is right now the current series up is the Spiritual Partnership series, and I'll be dropping a new episode when I get home. Because as you can see, there's some technology challenges here in No La. Okay. I also asked everyone yesterday to please go to my YouTube channel, I am Red Melissa, and subscribe there. And please share that with people who may not be on social media, that there is a opportunity on YouTube for them to experience Red Melissa and Morning Sips and Living Life in Joy. I so appreciate that. And the joy line. If you want to support my ministry of joy, if you want to have that vibration of joy on you, sipping it, then please support my joy line. It is at Etsy. I am Red Melissa. The Sip Joy mugs are very popular. Also, the t shirts, Living Life in Joy, and Connect to Your Yes, and the Joy socks, Joy, Joy, Joy. And there's Nan modeling it for us. All right. So, producer, let me know if we're doing a Hero Hoodies update. So he's going to pop on. There we go. Hero Hoodies update. What is going on in the
Yeah,
ministry?
the ministry, huh? So just really quick, I'll keep it quick too. The latest news is that Fisk University has become a part of the ministry. So yeah, I'm excited about that. I've got some college students involved. We had our first conference call last night, and I don't even know what that's going to mean. But the ideas that we played around with last night on the phone were very exciting. And if they come to fruition, y'all ain't even ready. Y'all ain't even ready for what we're talking about. So excited about that, and again, excited about having children involved. And I posted that photo yesterday, and I just throw that up and keep it moving. Look at these kids. I believe the children are our future, and so I'm excited to have these kids involved and being heroes in their own way. So yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yes, yes. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. All right, everybody. I will see you tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Oh, Heike's asking, where is NOLA? New Orleans. It's an acronym for New Orleans, Louisiana. So it's New Orleans and Louisiana together. NOLA. Yes, we're here for a couple of days, staying with some friends and their fabulous abode. So, yeah. All right, y'all. So, peace and blessings, peace and justice. Mm, peace and justice. Let's live life in joy, connected to our yes.